intention, this greater process that's seeking to move in the world.
This brings to mind the description of knowledge as a river of intention within us, which I think is a beautiful way of thinking of it, because rivers are moving. They have an origin, they have a destiny. They're moving. And if they stop moving, we know what happens to water that stops moving. Even lakes are moving, just slower. Glaciers are moving, just slower. But when water really stops moving, like the river of intention gets held up within you, that's a problem. And the river of intention doesn't have time to answer pointless questions. So if you're going to ask something of knowledge, I want you to think about what you're really asking for. Is this just like, well, I'll just see what knowledge has to say about this? That's not being appropriate with knowledge. Why am I asking this question? What am I asking for? And if it involves taking action, am I willing or ready to take that action? Because if you're not willing and ready, why would knowledge ever give you a directive? It would be an act it'd be a foolish act. Telling the person to do something they're just not going to do. So, if you ever find yourself asking knowledge for something and you're not getting a response, it's really important to go back, or even before you ask, to say, why am I asking this question? Is this an honest question? What am I seeking here? Do I really need it? If it involves action, am I willing to take that action? Better to be honest, say, I don't know if I'm really willing to do that, or I'm not really ready to do that. Better to be honest about where you're coming from. Knowledge is not going to play games with you. And if you start hearing things that respond and give you beautiful, lengthy explanations, that's either you talking to yourself or somebody else is getting in your mind. And if you ask about knowing something about the world, ask if you're really willing to know that. Because knowing something about the world means doing something for the world, either directly or indirectly. Knowledge that does not lead to action is not knowledge. That's not my quote. I forget the name of the source of that. That's not my quote. It may have started out as knowledge, but it didn't go anywhere. So if it doesn't go anywhere, then it ceases to be what it even originally was. So think of the river of intention. We know what rivers look like. We can imagine them and image them and see them in our local environment. They're going somewhere. They have an origin and a destiny. Their destiny is to join other rivers and eventually empty into the sea, if they can get that far. Unless you're emptying into a desert and then they're going to go out there and evaporate somewhere. It's the movement within you that wants to move. So instead of, I'll know, then I'll move, it's more likely you'll move and then you'll know. Or prepare to move and then you'll know. It's usually in the moment of doing something you really shouldn't be doing, or being with someone you really shouldn't be with, that you'll feel that restraint from knowledge, that kind of holding, something's trying to hold you back, like this. That's important. Take note of that. Don't override it for any reason. Now, it could be an immediate resistance to something real, but you need to pay attention. If that resistance continues and continues and continues, then better follow that. This is how knowledge is going to speak to you almost the vast majority of circumstances. I don't care what kind of personality you have. That's why we're practicing the listening, so not that we're to get anything, but just to have the channel open. I leave that channel open. When I'm out in the world, I leave that channel open because I've built it. So I forget it, but I can come back to it.